What do you think? Was the lady right? Is wheat, after all, not the most precious thing in the world? Or was it very right for her to show such little regard for those less fortunate than her? Let me know in the comments below. Welcome to the channel. And now let's go on with the story. Once upon a time, the sea stretched out freely around Friesland, sweeping over its flatlands and its deep fjords. On the Zuider Zee, or South Sea, lay the shipping port of Stavoren, largest and busiest in Friesland. Its harbor bustled with activity. Men shouted orders, ropes creaked, and sails loomed against the sunset sky. Ships loaded with wine, cloth, spices, precious stones, and African ivory bobbed in the harbor, rubbing shoulders with fishing boats and coasters. Many countries sent their ships to Stavoren, England, Portugal, Spain, France, Norway, and Germany, and ships of Stavoren ventured forth to many distant lands. Stavoren was a wealthy and proud city. Its streets were paved and lined with tall houses whose gables leaned toward each other. Their roofs were covered with expensive tiles and their walls were whitewashed. The windows were glazed and shone brightly. Some houses bore coats of arms, others showed carved heads and fantastic figures. Everywhere were signs of wealth, of comfort, and of pride. No finer city could be found anywhere in Friesland. Among the richest and proudest of the townspeople were two families, the Van Herings family and the Van Starren family. The Van Herings family lived in a large house with an ornate facade. In the courtyard stood two lions of gray stone. Their wide paws rested on golden balls. These were the Golden Age ancestors of the heraldic beasts, which later were to be used by the kings of Scotland. This family had so much money, its door handles and hinges were of pure gold. The Van Starrens also lived in a large house, facing the harbor. A narrow canal flowed through its front yard. To cross it, a drawbridge had been built. It was controlled by a heavy wooden wheel. When visitors rang the bell to call for its raising, the wheel rotated slowly. That was because it was mounted on a pivot made of solid gold. On top of the gate was the Latin motto, "Wealth is not ours, but our duty." For them, no price was too high to pay for an appearance of opulence and luxury. Nowhere in Stavoren could rival their luxurious homes. But there was one thing that made the Van Starren family even richer and prouder than their neighbors. They had the finest ships sailing out of town. The best shipyards of Holland had worked for years on the construction of this vessel, and no pains had been spared. All its masts were of the finest wood. Its rigging was of strong hemp and flax. Its sails were thick and fast. Its hull was shaped like a flying fish. It was decorated with painted scenes from pagan mythology, and its rudder was protected by a bronze shield. It seemed as if the ship itself took pride in itself. They named this ship Die True, meaning the faithful, and faithful she was. She followed the course charted by her captain without a murmur. Through storm and calm, she sped over the waves, returning quickly to her moorings, whenever her master wished it. By contrast, the Van Herings family owned a ship that was slow and clumsy. It was called Die Trutst, meaning the stubborn, and stubborn she was. Her master had to coax her into every maneuver. The headstrong ship needed much handling, and often refused to follow his directions. Now, while the Van Herings family was quite satisfied with their fortune and their house, the Van Starrens wanted more. And how they would acquire it, they discussed endlessly. "We are the richest family in town," said the head of the Van Starrens, "but we are not the richest family in Friesland. We have much to show, but our neighbors have more. We cannot deny it. How can we become richer, more important than our neighbors? How can we become the richest family in all of Friesland?" "I know how," said the wife. "It's easy. It requires no effort, and we shall surely win." "How is that?" "You must see it for yourself." She opened a window and pointed to the neighbor's house. The head of the Van Starrens frowned. "What do you mean?" "It's obvious. Their son is courting the daughter of the baker. Our daughter is free. Our son must court her." "What? Think about it. The baker has a shop on the main street. He opens early in the morning. His bread is famous all over town. Our son goes to the shop every day to buy bread for the household. While there, he meets the baker's daughter. They get acquainted. Next week, he invites her to dinner. Then she gets to see our house. It's bigger and nicer than theirs, and we have more servants. She sees our beautiful ship. She understands that we are rich and important. Our son marries her. We have the finest house and the finest ship. We entertain the entire city. All eyes are on us. We are the toast of the social season. Our influence grows. We get to choose the mayor, the sheriff, and the bailiff. Our friends get places on the city council. They will name a street after us. Every house on it will bear our coat of arms. We shall be immortalized in pictures and stories. Everyone will praise us." "I don't suppose," said the father, "it will be all that hard, after all." And so it was done. Some time later, the feast began. The bride's family sat in the place of honor. At her side was the young groom, his heart filled with hope for the future. The wedding went splendidly. The bride was beautiful. The church was full. The reception was festive. But when the party was over and only the family remained, a strange expression appeared on the baker's face. "Why do you look so sad?" said the bride's mother. "Why are you so downcast?" "I don't understand it myself," replied the baker. I'm happy for my daughter and wish her a lifetime of happiness. But now that the wedding is over, I feel as if a part of my soul has left me empty. I fear she will live to regret her decision. Why do you think so? Because your family is cold and heartless. They think only of themselves. They will suck the joy and warmth out of my daughter's life. Nonsense, said the bride's mother. She married for love. Your daughter will be happy. Time will prove it. And time did prove it. The baker's daughter was the talk of the town. Everyone praised her for choosing wisely. She married well. She had secured her future. The baker himself was quite pleased with the match. He often boasted of it. Only her younger brother sulked. He had begged his sister not to marry the cruel man, but she would not listen. Many years passed. The baker's brother grew up, and one day, looking around the neighborhood, he noticed that the Van Starrens' house was empty. The beautiful ship was gone. The paint was flaking off the walls. Ivy was climbing up the facade. Vines were coiling around the gilded gate. He learned that the family had gambled away all their money, and that now they were fugitives from justice. Suddenly, the brother understood why his sister had changed so much after her marriage. She had inherited her husband's coldness and callousness. She had abandoned her family and sold her soul for vanity and greed. He walked to the harbor and climbed aboard a passing ship. He sailed to distant lands. He fought in wars and committed daring deeds. He became a hero. One day, he returned home. Once again, he looked around the neighborhood. He saw that the house of the Van Starrens had fallen into complete disrepair. The thought struck him like lightning. Perhaps it is better for me to build a new house than to restore this one. He bought a large plot of land and commissioned the best architect in town to design a palace for him. The palace was built of brick. Its tall corner towers dominated the horizon. It was surrounded by a high wall and a deep moat. A drawbridge crossed the moat. It was made of polished marble. There were no golden balls or statues, only the plain symbol of a house and its key. The brother moved into the palace with his wife and children. He gave lavish parties. The entire city was invited. He named the palace House of Welcome. He never forgot where he had come from. He helped the poor, the sick, and the weak. He won the love and respect of everyone.